Yo, 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 it's your boy Joe.
It's your boy Greg. We the co-pilots from coast to coast. We do the most. So what's your flight? Whatever it is, we got you covered.
What's going on my day, man? What's going on, man?
Man, same as usual, man. Yeah, same as usual, man. Ain't that too much change.
Yeah, man. Same here, man. Been a long day. That cold, the weather, man. Hope everybody stay bundled up, man. Keep your pipes open. You know what I'm saying? For freezing, things like that, man. Is pretty cold down here. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, little safety or whatnot, man. So man, we don't want to waste nobody time, man. We're gonna get right into the show tonight, man. And so the first thing we want to talk about is the fight that happened over the weekend, man. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson fought. I thought it was a great fight. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson shocked a lot of people. And I think, now you gotta really consider him as one of the pound for pound fighters, man. And I think, when you just look at the way he dominated in this fight, man, it just showed, Shakur Stevenson, man, he on his little he want to prove that he one of the best boxers in the world, man. And I think, these last two fights of Shakur Stevens for me, I think he's shown that, man, he one of the top young fighters in the world right now, man. Your thoughts, Greg?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. You gotta put some respect on his name, man. Just moved up and he's taking on all challenges. Even when he was at 135, he was trying to fight Devin Haney. He was trying to fight Tank. He was trying to fight the best that was out there. Even though some would say that, he was trying to um build his name up at the time, but watching him, you pretty much can see that he was one of the top fighters out there. Unfortunately, it never got the fight between him and Devin Haney never got done due to contract issues, things of that nature. But he's pretty much established himself as a household name without the help of those fights happening. You get what I'm saying? So now it's on to and I said it was gonna happen. I say, man, the fight that I see that is the fight that's the most possible to happen. The fight that is probably is going to happen next with him is with Conor Ben. And we seen after the fight that he called Conor Ben to the ring, and they talk about making that happen. The only issue is with this right here. He was saying that he want the same rehydration clause or whatnot that they talked about. Um, Now somewhere in there, Conor Ben is saying that, yeah, if he give me 20 mil, then I'll do the rehydration
I
clause.
was just about to say
So
that too, because
I
I
don't
seen
know
that video
whether,
today too as
yeah.
well.
So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Maybe they still work something out. Maybe he move up to 147 or whatnot. Conor Ben is a big dude. You get what I'm saying? He moved up. I think he fought Chris Eubanks um at middleweight, if I'm not mistaken. But then going back to super welterweight, you pretty much gonna have a weight advantage if you rehydrate. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much said, like I say, man, I what happened is what I expected to happen. I knew that Shakur Stevens was gonna outbox Teofimo Lopez. Just examining that fight, man, Tio, man, his footwork was off, man. Bad footwork, man. It's like his rhythm was off with throwing his punches and switching his stances up. Um, and I guess it was due to the fact that he was trying to make it a inside fight, fight from the inside, which we see that Stevens is also good at fighting on the inside as well. And I think that's where he was trying to take the fight to, but Shakur Stevens kept that jab on him, man. He kept his distance the whole fight, man. And he was able to fight the fight that he was more comfortable fighting, which is, being able to be a boxer and not have to slug it out in the pocket.
Yeah, man, that's one thing that I noticed too about the fight as well, man. I want to say particularly in the seventh or eighth round, they gave Lopez one of those rounds. You know what I'm saying? And everybody and the announcers was like, "Hey, man, taking it to the body. You know what I'm saying? Can this be the swing the fight?" And I thought Lopez was gonna pick it up because at that point of the fight, Stevenson was dominating, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even close. He hadn't even won
Right.
a round yet. So I'm like, okay, maybe this can turn the fight. And I thought was looking forward to, the fight getting interesting. But, Stevenson never got the fight never got close. Every time he tried to go to the body. Stevenson, like you said, kept keeping him off with the jab, just combinations, and it was just like for everything that Teofimo Lopez said before the fight, he didn't live up to the hype, man. It was just a dominating fight, and I mean, like I said, man, like when you look at Stevenson, bro, like, a lot of people be trying to call him out, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's a boring fighter. But I look at the way he fights, bro, and he just takes his opponents apart, man. He don't have the power like people probably want. He don't have that entertainment value like a Tank could give you or a Floyd Mayweather give you. But he's a sound boxer, man. I think we got to start putting a little bit more, people that's not really watch boxing like that need to put a little more respect on Shakur Stevenson's name, man. And like I said again, man, I think this guy, man, this Conor Ben fight, it's gonna be a good fight, man. If they can make it happen, man, I think
Right. And
Stevenson
the
has
thing,
fought everybody that he's supposed to fight. When you think about
right.
it, like the last fight, everybody he took a lot of punishment in that fight. He ended up winning, and then everybody thought he was gonna get punished, take some punishment this fight too as well, and he came down unscathed.
Right. And like, man, the thing is, man, a lot of people look for knockouts and everything like that there, but people have to understand, Shakur got brutal hands. You know what I'm saying? He done broke his hand before, and we also have to keep in mind that he also fought with a broken hand as well and won that fight. You
Right,
know, so it's like you have to when you in there, you got to know your body, you got to know your limits, and you got to take care of yourself. And you got to be able to survive 12 rounds if it have to go the distance. You know, but my biggest thing is this with Shakur Stevens. My only knock with him, right? It was a time in that fight where he could have finished the fight off, right? And that's when he caught Teofimo Lopez off guard. When I told you like his footwork was off, and that
mm-hmm.
happens to a lot of fighters, man, who don't have great footwork. And it's not saying that um Lopez have had, he always have bad footwork, but in this fight right here, it just his coordination was off like crazy. But it was times, and that's the thing. Now, that's one of the things that I understand, like when people criticize him on, like, being able to finish off an opponent or whatnot. And that's one of the things I would like to see him do, you know what I'm saying, on the next level. And I think that, man, if he developed that, man, where he can, when able to develop into a finisher, man, you talking about a complete fighter, man. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right.
he would then be a fighter. I would be able to say, yeah, he is the top pound for pound fighter. As of right now, he's in the top 10, and which he should be. You know, probably having established himself. I don't know if he's top 5 yet after this fight. Possibly can, because he beat somebody that was also in the top 10. You know, and so but I think, man, if he was to go move up, man, and he was to beat Conor Ben, you definitely have to put him in as top 5 pound for pound fighter.
Okay. Man, I think for me, man, when I look at Stevenson, man, like just I would say these last two fights, out of all the fights I've watched Stevenson fight, these last two fights been impressive because I've seen stuff. It's a different Stevenson. Like he's going in there with that dog mentality, like dog, I'm the best fighter, and ain't nobody who I put in front of me, they're not gonna beat me. And he's been showing it. You know what I'm saying? And like before, I felt like, you know what I'm saying. It was that stigma of him. He runs. He's a defensive fighter that it is. But I feel like in these last two fights, man, he brought it. No, he brought it. And I think if he can continue on this trajectory, man, if he can get that win against Conor Ben, if they can make that fight happen and dominate how he did these last two fights, there's no question. You got to start putting some more. You got to put him in that conversation like you put Terrence Crawford and those guys.
Your voice starting to sound grainy a little bit.
It is
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Check
Let me
the
check
reception.
it. Yeah, man. I don't there, man. Let me see what's up. I know Candace has she using the internet too as well right now, so that could possibly be a it too. But hopefully it gets better. Hopefully it's sounding better now. So um, so is it sounding better?
Nah.
All right, okay. So let's kind of just go on with the show, and then I'm gonna be troubleshooting while we doing the show, and hopefully it'll get better. throughout the course of the show. If that's cool with you.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
just
kind of
restart it real quick.
yeah, probably have to because
Let
it's
me
like
restart.
flashing.
All right, let me restart it real quick. Hold on.
All right.
How that sound now?
Say something again. Yeah, it's
Yo.
kind of it's kind of still doing it a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Like where it's like pausing and everything.
It's pausing. See, I don't get no delay on my end, and
Yeah,
like you coming in real
that's what
clear
I'm
too. So
saying.
that's
Like,
why I don't know.
yeah, I'm seeing because I'm seeing your side, right? And so it's like it'll delay or whatnot, and then like you know what I'm saying. I don't know how I sound on your end, but
No, it sound on my end. It sounding. I don't mean like
it's
everything working
coming.
good on my
It,
end. I don't know why.
yeah, it's coming in.
Let
It's
me see
coming
something
in
else.
now.
Let me
It's come. It's in now. It's coming in now.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah,
All right then. Let's just. All right then. So what was talking about those Stevenson, right?
yeah. We're
So,
talking about.
but let's see. Let's stick to boxing. And your boy Keyshawn Davis called out Devin Haney, man. And shockingly, man, I thought, Keyshawn, to me personally, I thought Keyshawn Davis had the best fight of the night, in my opinion. Outside of the dude getting his toupee knocked off, his wig split. But
That was comical.
outside of that fight, I thought Keyshawn Davis had the most complete fight, and he actually finished his opponent, man. Uh, and that was my first time really watching Keyshawn Davis fight. But the dude got dog, man. He branked the whole night, man. And dog, he was them power shots to his body, dog, laying old boy out. And I thought he had the best fight, bro, in my opinion. And for him to call out Devin Haney, I don't think he's ready for Devin Haney, in my personal opinion. I think Devin Haney too long for him, you know, and I think his length, his height, things like that, the measurements of Devin Haney, I think would be a little bit too much for Keyshawn Davis at this particular point, man. Um, but hey, Keyshawn hungry, man. So hey, we'll see, man. But what's your thoughts?
Um, I would love to see that fight happen, even though I feel is that Devin Haney is more experienced. You know, he's more experienced and whatnot. So, with experience, you have more tricks in your bag. You done seen a lot. You done seen more things out there in the ring or whatnot. So he's more proven when you look at, his track record of opponents or whatnot, regardless whether he won, he feel he won it or he lost, you know, that experience means a lot. He have more of a proven track record. Keyshawn with experience when he hit his prime or whatnot, I think it'd be a good fight. Keyshawn, man, when I watch him, we know that he's one of those dudes that can be he can be talked about, man, down the line, man. He can be like we just talking about that pound for pound list. Um, but he would have to move up to 147. That's the thing. Now he's currently at 140. So moving up at 147, and that's your next fight. Um, so I would definitely take Haney in that fight if that was to happen due to the weight difference, and also the experience. Keyshawn, he's very quick, he's very accurate, the main thing is his quickness or whatnot. Defense is there. Devin Haney, he's more of a complete defender, and Devin Haney understand distance, with his opponents, and that's when I say that, he understands the ring more than a lot of his opponents or whatnot. But he called him out, but at one point of time, I thought that fight may happen or whatnot for a few hours, but then again, you also have to keep in mind, Bill Haney been calling out Tank Davis, man. He been calling him out last year, and he also been calling him out this year. And I think that that's a fight that they want to happen. But the question is this: will they get that fight? And you also have to factor this in. Not only does Devin Haney has legal problems that he's dealing with, but not to mention the weight difference. You get what I'm saying? I don't see Tank Davis moving up to 147. I I don't even see him moving up to 140. He's a natural 135. So now if they was to make that fight happen at 135, then no rehydration clause going to be slapped on there. You know.
Hmm.
So then too, you know, are they gonna even at 140? Let's just say hypothetically speaking, if this fight was to take place at 140, will Devin and Bill Haney allow a no rehydration clause into the fight? Because they feel it's this here. You're not the man calling the shots here. You get what I'm saying? He feel like his name is just as big as his. You know, they feel like they don't need Tank Davis, but that's the fight he want. And they feel as though they can he can beat him or whatnot. Then you also got to factor this in as well. You know, man still want to he still want his last fight was a tie. So man still want he still want to
To my
he still
Roach.
want to set the record straight. Yeah, Lamont Roach. He still want to set the record straight. So it's a lot going on with that that'll make that fight happen ASAP. I think you would have to you we would have to see Tank and Lamont Roach fight first.
Well, let me ask you
Lamont,
this though, Greg. The boxing guy who I lean on. So, like, you don't think that that fight between Roach and Pitbull kind of messed things up in regards to the fight happening with Tank?
no, because of this, right? A lot of people feel as though Lamont Roach won that fight. So Tank still gonna have to answer that. It's like rather, regardless of what the record says or what it says on the scorecard, we witnessed this. You get what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with Devin Haney against um the dude that he lost that was
To
on
my
on the
Ryan Garcia.
PDs, Ryan Garcia. It's the same with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Although it doesn't count, we still witness it. So a lot of
It
people
still
still
kind
going
of
to look
count a
at
little
Devin
bit.
Haney. A lot of people still is going to look at Devin Haney and be as though and look at it as like, is you gonna get your lick back? You know, Regardless of whether it's on the it count on the record sheet or not, people looking for you to get your lick back. You know what I'm saying? So and that's another fight that people will want to see as well. Like that also have to take place. You know, um Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. If Ryan Garcia was to win, what I'm saying, against Barrios. And also if yeah, and Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. So those are two fights that have to take place for them. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it's a lot going on, man. It's a lot. The only thing that seems definite, is and that's if they had a rehydration clause, is Shakur Stevenson and Conor Ben.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
is probably the most realistic fight because it seems like both of those guys want to get in the ring and fight each other, and that's what I like about, like I say, man, Shakur Stevenson, man, because everybody that has tried him or that called him out, that want to fight him, he's took the fight. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? To Lopez, the other cat that he fought last time. Now Conor Ben, he called out Conor Ben like he'll fight him. So man, I just like what Shakur Steven right now, man. He doing his thing, man. And I think a lot of that got to do with the brotherhood he got with Crawford. And then speaking of Terrence Crawford, man, I'm not sure, he made some comments about Teofimo Lopez. He went off on him on Twitter and just went off on him, called him,
Oh yeah.
fuck them. I mean, he got real disrespectful.
Oh
But
yeah,
in
they
that, I want you to answer the question with that, and then circle back to Keyshawn Davis with what you think with him or Shakur Stevenson will ever fight. Even though I know what's the
nah,
name,
that's
Bud said they friends, and like he don't feel like they should fight each other. Y'all can, do your own boxing careers and still be cool it. But I don't know, man. I mean, at some point, sometimes you might want that belt. You know what I'm saying?
now
You might want
this
to just have that. I don't know, man. So I'm gonna let you take off on
so
my thoughts,
so
man.
so this is what a lot of people going to look at. They're going to look at the situation with Floyd Mayweather and Judah or whatnot. So Mike Tyson, he was talking to both of them. He said, "Hey man, y'all two gonna fight each other." They was the best two in the world at the time in their weight class.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, "Y'all gonna fight each other." So they looking at it like, man, they homeboy, they partners. You know what I'm saying? They friends. They not gonna fight each other. Mike Tyson say, "Man, this is what's gonna happen." He say they gonna offer y'all a bag of money. Y'all, it gonna be so much. Y'all gonna be like, man, we can't refuse this. You get what I'm saying? Now, I don't think that's the reason why that fight happened. And a lot of people may think that just because that happened, that the same scenario is going to happen with Stevenson and Davis. My thing is this: I don't think they're going to offer them that much money to fight each other because the fans are not looking at that's the fight to make happen. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of other fights them that both of these fighters can take on that can possibly generate probably as much money that they don't have to spend a bag on those two to fight. You get what I'm saying? Or to
Right.
force them to fight. So their hand is not being forced to make that fight happen. So as long as though that they have that friendship, I don't think that fight will happen. I think that you would see Keyshawn Davis, he can possibly stay at his weight class. And I think that you would see I think we're gonna see Stevenson move up to 147. If he fight Conor Ben at 147 and he's comfortable at that weight, I think we'll see him stay at 147 because he's not a small fighter.
Okay. So you got some
But
great analysis on that, Greg, man. I'm just sitting here thinking about all my boxing questions I want to get out, man, because I know you real voiced in the sport more
but
than I am. And I
but
think
I'm gonna
my
say
last question, bro, when it comes to this is uh the fight between the upcoming fight that's coming up
what's that?
between uh yeah, the upcoming fight. I forget the upcoming fight. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it had went off for a little minute.
Yeah, I know I clicked off. I don't know what the hell happened. So
Yeah.
trying to think of the upcoming fight. It's a fight coming up. I want to get your thoughts on it, man. But it'll come back to me, man. But
But I'm gonna
I'll
say
let
to
you take
this,
off
right?
any thoughts
The
on the boxing before we go
yeah,
into
the
our
fight
next segment.
to me, my for me, I think the best fight of the night was Bruce Covington.
Okay.
The fight he had, man. I thought that was the best fight of the night. Bruce Covington won. And he's also one of those guys up and coming and whatnot. I've been seeing a lot of. And one of the things that stood out with me with him, man, at first I was like, well, dang, I didn't see nothing too flashy or whatnot. But the thing that I see with him is his patience. You know what I'm saying? He's a very patient fighter. And that is not something that's easy to do, especially when the fight can go either way if it go down to the scorecard. Because it was
Right.
times in that fight, even though he was winning, but it was times in that fight where you was like, hey man, this round could have been even. This round could have been a draw, or it could have went the other way. You get what I'm saying? And it
Right.
was like it wasn't a lopsided fight, but he stayed patient, man, and was able to finish the fight off, man. And like I say, man, he earned the knockout. And I like I say, man, he it seems like everything was done. It was perfect timing. It was with the rhythm or whatnot. He knew what he was trying to do, and he stayed patient for it or whatnot. He waited on it. And a lot of times, this is how you know when a fight is patient, right? When you can kind of see they move, what they're going for, especially if you know this fighter or whatnot. You don't watch them
Mm-hmm.
numerous of times, and you know what they're going for, and they finally land. Like for example, right? Tank Davis, right? Tank Davis, he's going for that left hook, you know. And he can also get you with it right, but we know that man, he catch you with that left is deadly or whatnot. And he finally catch you with it, you know. And it's like he might not try to catch you in the first or the second round, but when it presents itself, he's gonna take advantage of it or whatnot. But
Right.
that's what I was saying about Bruce Covington, man. He's a very patient fighter, Um, nice quickness and everything like that there. He's still developing or whatnot. So I don't think we saw the best out of him, even though he put on a great performance. I think he's one of those fighters that's going to continue to get better.
Okay. So we'll end it on that note on the boxing tip. Um, and we'll slide into our cancel that, clear that. Oh, what the hell? Close. There it go. We'll talk about some NBA talk. And so the All Star weekend is approaching. I think what 2 weeks from now. I think the All Star weekend, something like that.
Right.
And we have it's some notable names that did not make the All Star this year. And the All Star ballot format this year is a little bit different. They're doing like a U.S. versus the world type games. So there's gonna be teams I think it's gonna be two USA teams, two world teams. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I just gonna know it's gonna be the U.S. versus the world.
Oh,
And so with that, you thought it would be available for more players, but I think they got a bunch of international players that's playing in this All Star this year. But guys like Kawhi Leonard, Pablo Banchero, James Harden, some of the guys that we know to make the All Star game, they didn't make it this year, man. Um, and from I just think that it's a sign of the changing of the guards now. Like some of these old players like Kawhi, James Harden, got these young boys that's coming up. I think Jamal Murray made it his first time to the All Star in 9 years. So it's just a little different, man. So I don't know what your thoughts on that, Greg, is, man. Go ahead, bro.
well, Pablo Vanchero didn't make it due to being injured. We know that, like, I mean, I like him over Pascal Siakam, but at the same time, Pascal Siakam was available this year. Pablo, he's been hurt. When you look at on the West, man, on the side of it things, with like when you look at Kawhi Leonard, right? You look at his numbers. I don't, he had the numbers to make it. Like I say, man, he's been playing at a elite level this year. He's looking like Kawhi Leonard. I think one of the things that canceled him out was that how could you exclude LeBron James? You know, and I know that you can look at it as favoritism, whatever the case may be, but this is something that's gonna always get done when you look at the top stars of the game. They're always gonna receive the star treatment. It was the same with Kareem, it was the same with Jordan, it's the same with Kobe, and it's the same with LeBron. Nothing's gonna change or whatnot. So I think it was more so because of that. Like I say, he did have the numbers, but also LeBron, he had good numbers as well too. You know what I'm saying? And you got to factor this in as well. A lot of times, man, Kawhi Leonard is injured, and although it's not the issue case this season, but in the past seasons, Kawhi's been injured, so his name doesn't have that same buzz that it once had. Even though his style of play, he still have it, he's still displaying it on the court, but his name, he's become somewhat like an afterthought. Him and James Harden. You know, Not saying that they can't play, but due to them being hurt, it's kind of like if you're not watching the game, you don't know that they're on the court. You know what I'm saying? And especially early in the season, because we know that what dominate through the first couple of months of basketball, the NFL. You know, so you're gonna tend to forget that those players are out there on the court.
Yeah, you said football. I caught the last little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying that, yeah, when you have football or whatnot, you tend to forget that it's basketball season. So you're not paying much attention to who's playing and who's doing what. Um, Most people, I would say half the NBA fans, they're watching most of them, like I say, NFL is king. But at the same time or whatnot, if you're not watching if you're not paying attention like that and you're glued to the NFL, you know what I'm saying? You're not watching as many games as you normally would watch after we would watch after the All Star break. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you're not watching the game, you pretty much don't know who's playing out there. So you pretty much gonna forget you're gonna forget what James Harden is doing. You're gonna forget what Kawhi Leonard is doing. You get what I'm saying?
I feel
LeBron
you.
James, he's a household name. So the media, the fan base, they're gonna constantly remind you who LeBron James is, whether he's having a good game or whether he's having a bad game. They're gonna remind he's gonna constantly stay in the media.
I totally agree with you on that, man. And I think also too with some of these guys that got snubbed, like Pablo, James Harden, you gotta look at particularly to these guys' record, man. Like right now, the Orlando Magic's record, yeah, they got a winning record. They sitting at 25-23. Not the most desirable record when this team is one of those teams that we thought that could compete in the Eastern Conference to be a sleeper, maybe finals appearance. So I
Right,
think that's disappointing, as well as with the Clippers as well too. Their record is not, with all the drama they had going on early on in the season, things like that. And I think that might have had a part to play in it as well. Also with the injuries too. But I just think that too also um, you would think that they will have the star power, but you make a good point, and I didn't think of it like that. Was hey man, when you're not on the court, bro, like who gonna see you, bro? Like, and the
right.
fans are watching, and with load management things like that, and the 65 rule, you got to play so many games. I think a lot of those factors all came into the and why some of these guys got snubbed this year in the All Star game.
Right.
I mean, I'm not. I'll be honest with you though, man. you know, the All Star game, man, it has lost its pizzazz like a motherfucker, dog. So it's like I probably tune into like the first quarter of the game, and I probably won't watch no more of it. I'll probably be more into the rookie sophomore game, those games, the celebrity games, 3-point shootout. That's about the extent of my All Star weekend, man. But I'm not looking forward to this during NBA stuff versus the world because I don't know,
I will
man.
watch that.
You gonna
I'll
watch
watch
it?
that. I say I would, like, if I'm you know what I'm saying, I'm not doing that, that's something I would check out, see how it looked first, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Man. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It just seems like with the All Star game, bro, we have gotten so far away from what it was in the '90s. Like when you watch an All Star game in the '90s when Magic and Jordan them played. Not now, don't get me wrong. No one really played hard. They didn't really start really playing hard till like the fourth quarter. Then you kind of see the intensity pick up. Like, oh, okay, them boys going at each other.
Yeah, to
But
finish the game off.
to finish the game, yeah, but they don't even do that no more. You know what I'm saying? You be
Yeah,
watching, dog. I watched the All Star game a couple years back, dog. Each team damn near put up 200 points.
right.
It was like 170 to 180 something. Dog, it was horrible, dog. It was just so horrible, dog. And I don't know. I just so turned off with the All Star game now, man. It just, I don't know, man. But
You gotta people have you have to factor this in, man. Ownership, man. Owners like, man, we paying y'all so much money. We need y'all on the court. Not for an expedition match. You know what I'm saying? Exhibition match. I'm talking about expedition. Not we need y'all on the court and not for an exhibition match. You know what I'm saying? So it's understandable from the ownership part or whatnot. I'm paying y'all so much, when the time matters, especially when it come to playoffs. Like, we're not just paying y'all to play, we're trying to win championships.
I
So
feel
we definitely need y'all available towards the end. You can possibly get hurt in an all-star game if you're playing too hard. You can pull a hamstring, an ACL, any kind of leg injury. Anything just like, what I'm saying? Um, and it's the same like with the NFL, at one point of game, man, you see a lot of hard hits during the all-star game. It was fun to watch. Now it's not you know, and I'm not sour about it. You get what I'm saying? Because I understand the nature of the business. Hey, these owners looking at these players or whatnot, hey man, y'all are my investment. I'm investing in y'all. We need y'all on the field. My thing is this: I hate when people look at it as if that, like, when they look at it from this light right here, to say that the players now are soft and everything like that. There, and they look and they point to how the All Star, how the game is being played in general, but not understanding that these rules don't come from the players complaining. These rules come from the owners speaking up, about these things. By when the owners say, "Hey, listen, I need you to I need to go on my player to be on load management." You know, I need my player to sit out because I need him down the stretch. You get what I'm saying? I need him to sit out because this game don't mean that. So later on, I need because we playing for a championship or whatever the case may be. So the ownership wanted to protect their investment. This is what a lot of people don't know. It, you know what I'm saying, don't understand. So and that's why I say, man, I hate it when, although I hate the fact that the game is not played like it used to be, but I don't say that to say that the players today are soft. It's just, because I understand what's going on, and it's not the players' fault all the time. Some it may be, but it's not always the players' fault. It's the ownership and the rules that's being brought up to protect the, you know what I'm saying? Even when you look at the Tom Brady rule or whatnot, I don't remember Tom Brady ever going to management arg and say, "Man, y'all need to stop this rule right here because I got hurt." No, they want to protect they want to protect who they felt was the best player at the time, and they want to protect the best position in the game at the time. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And which is the quarterback, because that's what generates the money. That's what makes the game go.
Yeah, man, I agree with you on that. I just think we as a consumer of the sport, you know what I'm saying, of sports, especially in NBA. I think it has to be a balance, and I think that's where the for a lot of that frustrate a lot of fans is it's like the balance, bro. If we already doing load management, you don't want to play in the All Star game. You know what I'm saying, like all these things, and then it's like you have the customers that are paying their hard earned money to see a particular player, and then they go to the game, they spent all this money, and the guy not playing. So I think it's just it got to be some balance. Like I get it, investments is important. Like I get the owners gotta protect their investment. They gotta make sure that you know their players, their star players, are around for when the season matter the most. I just think as from a fan aspect of it and from a consumer aspect of it, like you gotta have some balance. And then when you look at it from a analytical standpoint or from back in the day standpoint, there the number it's not like a big gap. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, back in the day, they was having, less injuries and now we're having this many injuries. It's like, it's about the same. It's not really a real big difference in injuries. And I think, once you start looking at that, it's like, okay, why they can't play 82 games. But I understand the ownership part of it. I understand that uh the investment part of it. So that's why I just think know what I'm saying, like in the NBA that it just can be frustrating, and even just across sports as well, man. Just that balance of players and fans and the product and what the product should look like on the field from a consumer standpoint. Like you want the best players to be out there, but at the same time, you want a good quality product. You know what I'm saying? When you watch it, that's all. I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm rambling right now.
But see, from the thing is though, like, and that's honest. Is shit keep going on.
Watch keep going because I
Okay,
think
now what?
either it's logged in. I think it might be logged in somewhere. Like either I'm still logged in on the device, or you might still be logged in on the device. So
But
that's the only time they really do that. Only reason why I'm saying that is because when I talked to the people the last time when it was doing this, they was like, make sure everything logged off. So, but
yeah,
we'll keep trucking though, man.
I was
I'll look
logged
into
out.
that though later.
But the thing is this though, like that's understandable, but at the same time, it's like the issue shouldn't be with the players though. Like you say, like with people playing their hard earned money, right? The players are not charging the fans. Ownership is, you know what I'm saying? So this is who they issue should be with ownership. Like, hey, listen, why y'all charging these outrageous ticket prices and these dudes not playing? You get what I'm saying? So that is where the issue lies at. But at the same time, the ownership is also going to have they're going to have a loophole, because they're going to say that when they sell the tickets say the name of the team and not the player. You know what I'm
That
saying?
part.
Now, even though they're using the players to mark the ticket prices up, they're well within their right to mark ticket prices up. You get what I'm saying? And you can't prove that they're using the players to mark ticket prices up because this is not nothing that's being disclosed on the ticket pricing, things like that. There, the fans see a product that they want to see, that they see feel like it's must see TV, and they spend their hard earned money to see that.
You said
You cut it back up now. I'm finna leave out. I ain't finna keep going through this.